Karla Huntsman works as a professional storyteller and teaching artist, and performing and teaching at festivals, conferences, schools, and community venues. She also performs with the Las Vegas Improvisation Players, and she teaches for the Smith Center for the Performing Arts. She is continually amazed by the power of story to enhance and transform lives. Her story today is a folktale entitled Shine.
For a long time, there had been no rain. The streams, the river beds were dried up, and people were becoming ill because there was not enough food and not enough water. At the base of the mountain lived a young mother and her daughter. The young mother was ill, and day after day the little girl watched as her mother lay on the bed. The little girl wanted to do something, anything to help her mother. One day she realized that when her father was alive, she had gone with him up the mountain, and there had been water. So one day she decided she was going to go and get that water. She took a battered tin cup that had a long handle, and she started off, up, up, up the mountain. No water. Up, until she heard the sound of water dripping. She went off the path, she looked up, and there coming off a ledge were little tiny drips of water. She took her tin cup, she held it up, and she waited and waited until those drops had accumulated and the water was full in her cup. Then she put her hand over the cup and she went down, down, down the mountain. She got about halfway down the mountain, and there by the side of the road she saw a dog whose tail was hanging in the dirt, whose tongue was sticking out. The little dog looked at her, she looked at the little dog, she took her cup and she poured a little water into her hand, and she leaned down so that the dog could lap water from her hand. She poured more water into her hand. She leaned down so that the dog could have some water. The dog jumped up, wagged its tail, and went on down the mountainside. And the little girl continued to go down the mountain. When she got to the base of the mountain, she saw an old, old woman with a brown, ragged shawl. The woman looked at her. She looked at the cup of water. She looked at the little girl. And then she pulled a tiny cup from behind her shawl, and the little girl took her cup. She looked in amazement because the cup had turned to silver and was completely full of water. She poured water in the old woman's cup. The old woman drank it and went on her way. The little girl got to her cottage where her mother was lying down on the bed. She took her mother's head and she lifted it up, and she started to help her drink that water. Now noticing that the cup had turned to gold and was completely full again. The mother drank the water, and then she motioned for the girl to take her water. The girl was just starting to drink her water when she heard a knock at the door. She went to the door, and there was a man there who was dressed in blue, green, yellow, and red clothing. She had never seen anyone like this. The man looked at the cup. "May I have some water?" She took the cup and held it out to the man, and he said, "Follow me." She followed him outside. He took the cup of water and he poured it into the dry bed where there once was water. Instantly, there was water gushing up from the stream bed, which ran down the hill that they lived on, moved into the valleys, filled the rivers, filled the streams. Then the man took the cup, which had now turned to diamonds, and he flung that cup into the night air, where you can see it still as the Big Dipper pointing the way to the North Star. A little over a year ago, we had a terrible event in Las Vegas. Many lives were lost, and many tragic stories came off of the strip that we heard. But parallel to those stories came incredible stories of kindness. Facebook posts. Do you need a car? Do you need a house? Can I get you food? Can I get you clothing? Restoring people's faith in humanity and helping them to know that that North Star of kindness still existed. In this world of trouble, it is easy to grumble there ain't love anymore. Wars and feuds and fighting and all that constant whining, it seems a spreading roar. And where is the love? Where is the harmony? Where does the caring begin? When will the world be at peace with itself? When will the fighting end? And shine, shine, shine like the stars in the sky. Give a little love, a little love. Never I sing with you. Shine, shine, shine like the stars in the sky. Give a little love and let the river start. Maybe the answer is not in what surrounds us. Maybe